sheeple, lazy and evil. For years I've watched y'all allow Donald Trump turn you to crazy people. Where's that freedom eagle when you...
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Let's talk about Rampage from October the 15th, 2021. We're going to talk about the buy-in and the actual show. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We have to talk about the buy-in and the actual show. There was way too much wrestling. Way too much. Way too much. But let's do it. I'm going to make it easy for all of us. Okay? I'll watch it so you don't have to. Ty Conti defeated Santana Garrett. The match meant nothing. Who cares? Ty Conti is, I guess, undefeated outside of, I guess, the title shot she got that she lost or whatever the case may be. But her strength of schedule is like garbage, so who cares? Lee Moriarty, who is now All Elite, it's official, loses to Bobby Fish via buzzsaw kick. Match was, why was Lee Moriarty the guy to put over Bobby Fish? I don't know. Couldn't find someone else to do that? In any event. I like Lee Moriarty. I've enjoyed everything that I've seen him in thus far. Just the guy can't catch a break. Every time he gets put in what it seems like a real solid match, he ends up doing the job. So, but Bobby Fish is, I guess, being fattened up for the Daniel Bryanson kill the following night. So it is what it is. So the main event of the buy-in, obviously, Minoru Suzuki versus Bryan Danielson. In a match for literally no reason. It was heatless. It was meaningless. It was a quote-unquote dream match that only 179,000 people watched at the time that I watched it. I think of the people who watched it live, it was less than 100,000. I'm pretty sure that's going to go up as, because it's YouTube. So more people can go back and watch it. People are going to go back and watch it multiple times. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Tony. You're going to get the views here. But I think it says a lot that, I think the the most that actually watched it was like less than 100,000. I'm talking live as it occurred. And it actually came on during SmackDown. So right in the middle of SmackDown was the Rampage buy-in. He counter-programmed SmackDown and got like less than 100,000 views. See, that's the bad thing about YouTube. People can see what you did live. It doesn't matter if you put it on after the fact. It's there in perpetuity. People can go back and watch it. Sure. But we were looking at those live numbers, dog. It wasn't looking that great. The match itself, though, was a masterclass in hard-hitting, grappling, and submission wrestling. And I wish I cared more about Minoru Suzuki than I really do. But this match was actually pretty good when it comes to escapes and counters. And, it was a little too much of the I can take it fighting spirit garbage that they do in Japan where, hey, let me kick you in the chest. And then, you kick me in the chest. And then I'll elbow you in the face and you elbow me in the face. It was just a little too much of that. I was not a fan of that. I could have definitely done without that. And I think those were the worst parts of the match. And plus, I think the match was too long. Not a fan of long, heatless matches that are done just to, pop the hardcores and all that kind of stuff. It's fine for what it was. It was good for what it was, rather. Let's call it good. It was good for what it was. But it wasn't... it had no meaning. For starters, you knew Danielson was going to win. So there was no suspense. And, I'm just trying to figure out a reason to watch this match. Outside of, who Minoru Suzuki is, who Bryan Danielson is, and you're an AEW fan who's like, I don't want to watch SmackDown. I think I'll just watch Rampage buy-in. It's like, what? Buy-ins are for pay-per-views. Does this card sound like a pay-per-view card to you? CM Punk versus Matt Sydal. Ruby Soho versus The Bunny. and Junior Dos Santos versus in the Men of the Year versus the Inner Circle. Does that sound like a pay-per-view card to you? What am I buying into? What am I supposed to be purchasing? Whatever. That's just what he calls his pre-shows. You know, Tony Khan is smarter than Ted Turner. Okay? He knows more than 1% more than Ted Turner knows about wrestling. Okay? He knows more about wrestling in the corners of his journal than Ted Turner knows about running wrestling. So who are you to critique him? Who are you to say he has bad ideas? Who the hell are you? Tony Khan is smart. Not like everyone says. Like dumb. He's smart. So let's talk about Rampage while we're here. The main show. CM Punk takes 15 minutes to beat Matt Sydal. And in light of Roman Reigns saying that Punk lost a step and he has no explosiveness and all that kind of stuff, I was definitely analyzing this match based off of what Roman said. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong. Because you can't do that. Like I can't do that. I can't get caught doing that. But I did it this time. And I found that he was, mostly right. But it seemed like AEW even started to play into it. Oh, speaking of AEW playing into it, let's back up a minute. Taz, during the Minoru Suzuki Bryan Danielson match, he said, and I quote, "If you're watching TV and ain't watching this, you're a dumbass." Saying if you're watching SmackDown rather than watching Minoru Suzuki and Bryan Danielson in a meaningless match on YouTube, you're a dumbass. Well, guess what? There's probably going to be about 700,000 dumbasses in the world at the end of the year. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more because there's election seasons. But, I'm sure Taz is going to be very, let's say, annoyed. The AEW fan base, boy, I mean, the roster, the managers, the staff in the back, everybody got to be in their goddamn bonnet all of a sudden. All right, so let's get into this match because this event thing is going too long. CM Punk takes 15 minutes to beat Matt Sydal. I unfortunately analyzed the match through the lens of Roman Reigns, which I shouldn't have done because it's biased. The match itself was fine. The match itself was good, actually. But I couldn't help, maybe halfway through. The match was way too long. I get it. You want to super serve this audience. You want to give this audience as much CM Punk as possible. You're using him to draw the house. You want to get his name out there. You want people to see him and associate him with your brand. All that stuff, I get all of it. I'm not saying give CM Punk 2-minute matches. That's not what I'm saying. But there's no reason for him to go 15 minutes with Matt Sydal when it doesn't take most guys 15 minutes to beat Matt Sydal. And then on commentary, you kept hearing about Starks and Taz talking about, CM Punk's cardio. What's his cardio like? I don't think he's going to be able to keep up. I think even Excalibur is like, Matt Sydal's trying to blow him up. And then Taz has to explain the insider term that Excalibur used on TV. Man, what a pain. What a pain. The finish is Matt Sydal was trying to use a crucifix. CM Punk counters it into the GTS and got the pin. In reality, this match was way too long. He gave Matt Sydal way too much offense. I get it. They've known each other for a long time. They're probably friends, but come on, man. I'm trying to look at it from both perspectives. If you're a CM Punk, you haven't wrestled, you need to get this ring rust off, which means you need to work more. Also, if the match goes at least 15 minutes, you can get that score, boom, 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 on the rating, and hope that you popped something while SmackDown is doing God knows what on the other side. You're hoping that you can pop something, so that's why you have the match. You have the match go about 15 to 18 minutes. But for the viewer, this match had no real purpose. There was no storyline going into it, really. There's no storyline coming out of it. And therefore, what have you really gained after this fight? You know, what did we gain? You didn't gain anything. What was the resolution to what problem? I don't even think Leo Rush was even out there for this match. So Leo Rush didn't hang out after this match, and there was no backstage segment of Matt Sydal being disappointed and Leo Rush telling them, yeah, you know, I got you the match that you said you wanted and you lost, you know, or anything to that effect. It's just, he beat him, and that was it. Whatever. Probably the right thing to do, I guess. Ruby Soho defeated the Bunny. The less said, the better. American Top Team defeated the Inner Circle. Jericho and Dan Lambert was talking. Dan Lambert says that, oh yeah, everybody's talking about this is Junior's first match, Junior Dos Santos. This is his first match, but he's been bruising brains for years. You know, the American Top Team will, you know, just gonna finish this whole thing. And Jericho called them big beardy bitches or big unbearded bitches or some version of bitch and some version of shit. And it gets pops every time. I don't know what it is about cussing that gets people to pop. It's probably not the right thing to do. It's cheap as hell, if we're being honest. In any event, there was a spot where Hager and Junior Dos Santos are circling each other in MMA stance, and you can hear UFC chants. UFC, UFC. And I'm like, man, oh man, what are you doing? What are you doing? They limited Junior Dos Santos' involvement in this match. He did go through a table because I guess that's AEW's thing. If you're a celebrity, you got to go through a table, you know. So they had Jake Hager be the guy to give him a rock bottom through a table. A weird spot, and for a moment I thought the Inner Circle would actually win this match. And I was like, man, Junior Dos Santos losing his first match doesn't bode well for him. But at the same time, Scorpio Sky's in this match. He could take the pin. So was Ethan Page. And I was like, I don't know what we can do. And then we go into the finish. Because Jericho has Scorpio Sky, I believe it is, in the Walls of Jericho. Paige Van Zant distracts the ref. Jorge Masvidal does a running knee strike, like a drive-through knee strike. Knocks out Jericho. Scorpio Sky gets the pin. And the Inner Circle lose. They then get jumped by American Top Team after the match, which leads to Santana and Ortiz running down to the ring to chase them off. And it was lame. It was lame. It took forever for Santana and Ortiz to get involved. It was guys all over the place running around doing all kind of nonsense. Man, they really... No more. No more. Please, no more. I can't take another second of this stuff right now, man. Here's the thing about this Rampage show. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Dark Order getting back together. The band's back together, guys. Wrestling is fun again. Man, I wish these people would get shoved back up Tony Khan's nose where they came from. Fuck the Dark Order, for Christ's sake, man. What was that? What was I talking about? Okay, so American Top Team beat up the Inner Circle. So apparently this thing is going to continue, but I don't see why. You know, I don't see why. You know, what is it going to have? Dos Santos versus Hager in a cage fight match or some silly stuff like that. I just don't see how I don't see this really drawing or being that interesting to the average person. They haven't done a good job of making the MMA fighters seem like tough guys. They just come across as people playing pro wrestlers. You know, they don't come across as MMA fighters, fish out of water, doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or doing things that are illegal in the cage because it's legal in wrestling. You know, that would be cool. You know, when you're an MMA fighter and you're a fish out of water, and the rules are very lax in wrestling. You know, the referee's not going to get in there and force you to stand up or, you know, forcefully separate you unless, you know, they're in the ropes or something like that. So why not take advantage of that? And I get it. They probably don't want Junior Dos Santos to do a quote unquote worked MMA style thing, which is always the problem with amateur wrestlers and guys like that, is they kind of want to just do what they know how to do and end up coming across really phony because it's a guy who can't work trying to work what he can really do. That's what's Ty Conti's real problem. You know, that was also Bad News Allen's real problem. It wasn't until Bad News Allen went somewhere where other people knew how to do the stuff that he knew how to do, that it made sense to him to do that in a worked environment. I think that it was in Japan when he did that. But, you know, I think he was in Calgary. I don't think he did. He did some of that stuff, but he was basically just a big bad heel at that point. Like the whole judoka, which was a shoot. He was a shoot judoka. But, you know, it's like the average person didn't really get it. So he's kind of like a brawler, basic brawling guy, or a basic karate man, you know? But we're in a weird space right now where we got these MMA fighters and they just picking up pro wrestling habits. They're being taught what to do by pro wrestlers instead of being used as MMA fighters who are in a pro wrestling environment. They're being treated like they're pro wrestling fans in a pro wrestling environment. And that's not fun. It's stupid. But pro wrestling is fun, guys. AEW. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Tell me what's worse than learning all that you led to believe was all horse crap. They distort, so question as if